Don't just live for tomorrow, or just live in yesterday. Just be glad for all you have that's in today.
Hey everyone, Connie here, and welcome to my blind reaction to the first episode of Glitch Techs. So yeah, as you know, this series is replacing Digimon Adventure 2020 for the moment because of the hiatus due to COVID-19. So we need to get to a new show, and this is one that I've kind of been putting off. It's not that I haven't wanted to check it out, but I think with my thoughts recently on both Amphibia and Owl House, I've been kind of wary because both of those other shows I had very high hopes for, and both of them let me down. Um, and it's not like they were the worst shows ever, but they disappointed me in how they were handled in a lot of ways. Um, and I just don't want these other shows that have been coming out to be the same. Most notably, this and oh my gosh, what is it called? Don't you hate when that happens? When you have it on, when you know what you're thinking of, it's just like the name escapes you. Um, the other one that's on Netflix right now, I can't think of what it's called. You know what I'm talking about. If I think of it, I'll mention it. But those two like have been getting some pretty good scenes. Kibo and the Wonder Beasts. That's it. Kibo and the Age of the Wonder Beasts. Those two have been getting a lot of steam lately, and people are really raving about them. And so I wanted to check them out, but I'm wary that they'll end up being just like these other two. And I mean, I'm hoping not, of course. I'm hoping for the best, as always, but I'm just worried. I decided to check this out anyway, since we had the time and ability to now. And I have no idea what to expect. I know a tiny bit about what this is about. All I know, and I might even not have the facts entirely straight, but all I know is that there's this character, I assume the main character, named Miko. I think it's Kubota. She, I think, is a gamer. I don't know like to what degree, but I think I heard she's a gamer, and she is recruited into this group to fight viruses, like in a more epic way than that sounds. Obviously, like probably like going into the net to fight viruses or something like that. That's all I know. Oh, and I do know there is a Muslim character, a character with a hijab and all. So that's cool. I have seen a screen cap of that character. Um, but that's it. I don't know any other plot details. Excuse me. I don't know any other character details or really anything else about this show. I really don't know what to expect. But I'm interested to find out, and I'm really hoping that this one is good. I'm really hoping so. I have seen what Miko looks like. I've seen her design. I've seen even a couple pieces of fan art of her. And I really like her design. Like I like the color combination. The yellows and purples really complement each other well. Um, and it's just a good design in general. Like I'm really just hoping this is good. I don't want to drop another show. I don't want to drop another one of these new cartoons that are getting all popular. Let's put it that way. Especially since like I could probably just go to Kibo if this one if I don't like this one next, but I don't know. I don't want to. I don't want this to be bad. I don't want this to be bad at all. I want to like this. I want to love this. Uh, but yeah, like I don't know what to expect with this, really. Because while I've heard people raving about this and saying it's really good, I haven't heard any specific praises or whatnot. All of the praises, all of the everything has been really like spoiler free and kind of generic. You know, like, oh, this is good. I really like the characters and the story, but no one's giving details, which I mean I appreciate. Don't get me wrong, because lack of spoilers, but still, no one's like giving any specifics on what they mean by that. No one's like going in depth with their uh, thoughts. It's like everything I see is just super basic. Um, but again, that's kind of a good thing, because if I start to like this and everything and really start getting into it, then that means I won't have to worry about spoilers, hopefully. So yeah, um, this should be interesting. I wonder exactly how far into the gaming aspect they're going to go, if that is actually true and all. Because I've recently been starting up a new, or the second season of High Score Girl, which, as you know, I reacted to the first season on this channel. I decided to do the second season on my own time. I just felt like it's not that like great of a show for reactions. It's a good show. Don't get me wrong. I just put up an AMV for the first season. I really enjoy it. I really do. But it's not like the best in terms of reactions. I feel like it's better for an on my own time thing. Excuse me. But either way, that focuses so heavily on video games, even using real world examples such as Street Fighter 2 and Mortal Kombat and whatnot, that it's like, is this series going to have anything like that too? Or are they just going to make up video game names and probably use like generic styles of games and genres and whatnot? Um, I think that this series is in part produced by Nickelodeon, I think I heard. Um, so I think probably not. It's probably going to use its own things. It's not going to go into real video games. Um, because it's like a lot of cartoons, especially ones that are done by bigger companies and whatnot, won't go into that stuff, because they have to like get the rights to be able to do so and everything, and a lot of these companies don't want to spend the money to do that, just simply put. So a lot of these companies won't. I'm really glad High Score Girl did, because honestly, that's part of its identity. Part of its identity rests on the fact that it takes place in the real world, basically, and during the big video game boom of the late 80s and early 90s. Um, it's it's kind of a big deal for the series, so I'm glad that High Score Girl was able to do that. Um, but even no matter which option Glitch Text goes for here, I'm hoping that they still at least show that they understand video games, because you would not believe how many shows I've seen that incorporate video games into it, that it's like, okay, has the people who made this ever even played a video game? It's like, seriously, it's like ridiculous at times. It's like they'll get the most basic aspects right and then completely go off the rails with everything else. Either that, or they'll make it so ridiculously safe and generic that it's just boring. um, but either way, I am very excited to get into this. So we're going to get this first episode reaction started and hope to enjoy it. So when the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black and then it fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the episode. So that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. Okay, and we are back, and we will begin with spoilers in three, two, one, now. Okay, so first off, the guy I was thinking of at the end of the reaction there, the one who Fives Poppy reminded me of in terms of his voice and all, Danny Trejo. He's known for playing Machete in the Spy Kids movies and well the spin-off Machete. He was in Breaking Bad and many other things. I think he was in the Rob Zombie Halloween reboot too. I think he was in that, yeah, because I think he was like one of the only people who Michael actually cared about. Because he was the nice guy while Michael was at the asylum. I think. Keep in mind it's been a long time since I saw that, but either way, yeah, I was definitely thinking of Danny Trejo. Um, so I did not expect a double length first episode. I didn't expect that. So it did kind of throw me off guard when I looked at the time. It's like, oh, this is going on longer than I thought it was. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. Because this was great. And that also worries me. Because I had very good impressions of both Owl House and Amphibia at first, too. So it definitely concerns me. But at the same time, I can't deny it was great. It was a fantastic opener. Our main characters are definitely likable. It shows that Mitch, who was kind of our antagonist of this first episode, actually not even kind of, he was straight up our antagonist of this first episode. Um, but it shows that he has the possibility of redemption, that he's not like an inherently bad guy. He basically let his status and power get to his head. I think that he will kind of turn around. He'll probably be a bit the jerky character for a while, but I'm sure he's going to turn around and end up maybe even becoming their friend. Um, we saw there were a couple other glitch texts as well. Zara, who is the Muslim girl, don't know anything about her yet, or the other one whose name I can't remember. But I'm definitely interested because we don't have a lot of cartoons these days, or just shows, games, etc. in general, that have a notable character with a hijab. It's really cool to see. It's just, I really like that. We need more of that kind of stuff because there are people like that in this world and they need to be represented too. So yeah, I can't wait to really meet her as a character. Um, so this episode focuses around our two main characters, Miko and Five, both of whom are gamers, even to the level of being semi-pro. They're competing in tournaments and stuff and are really hyped to be competing in this big tournament, the best of the best. Um, and the winner gets like, the biggest prize, basically being able to work at the store, which, as we find out, is basically just becoming a glitch tech. um, so we see how the tournament match goes, and it's basically sudden death rules. Um, and yeah, they end up winning kind of together. Mitch is the one who scores the goal, but he scores it with her ball. So in the end, they both end up getting the job. Now, I like how even in the real world, we see a bunch of video game overlay effects and stuff. Like I said in the reaction, it reminds me of Scott Pilgrim, because the Scott Pilgrim versus the World movie did the same thing. I don't know if the comics did that as well, because I've never read them, to be fair. But the live action movie with the actor whose name I cannot remember right now for some reason. Um, I have a terrible time remembering names at the drop of a hat. But either way, the Scott Pilgrim live movie had a lot of that in it. It had a lot of video game overlays and effects. It was part of its charm, part of its identity, really. So it was fun to see that here, and it really fit just the overall tone of the episode. Um, it definitely seems to have a very fun tone to it. It's not too serious, it's not too silly. It definitely knows what moments to take seriously, um, but also inject a little bit of levity into them to a degree. Like with the entire part where they're fighting the Chomp Kitty glitch. Like most of it is very serious. Like when the Chomp Kitty starts eating the kids out of the ball pit, I actually was like my breath like just really got strained there because that freaked me out. Obviously, like I knew that if Mitch was okay, they were probably going to be okay too. But it's still like I almost I couldn't handle that. Okay, that kind of stuff bothers me. It just really does. Um, Anything that shows kids getting hurt or injured or killed, um, even if it's kind of a fake out, you could say, like that bothers me. Um, yeah. But anyways, yeah, it showed even so that there was a little bit of levity in that scene as well, like when Five accidentally fed, was it Five or was it Miko? Either way, when one of them accidentally fed a power up to the Chomp Kitty. Um, I think it was Miko actually. Either way, it showed that they could uh, introduce a little bit of levity to even serious scenes, but make it feel natural because they were still figuring out these gauntlets and everything and what they could do with them. So yeah, they're not going to be perfect right away, and they're going to make mistakes like that. Um, the action was good. The animation is really good. Like not just the animation of like the action scenes and whatnot, but even the animation when they're just expressing. The facial expressions are fantastic in this. Um, it's not too over the top, but it really gets the point of their emotion across, while at the same time showing a little bit of that cartoonish side to it. I really liked the characters. I already said that, but let me go a little more into that. So Miko is this kind of, she's the one, again, I knew about the most going into this because I've seen the art of her and stuff. Um, she's the wild child character. She's very rambunctious. She's obsessed with games. She adores video games, and it's basically her life. She's very into it, and she's very open about that. She doesn't hide this fact. She does not hide her love for games at all. She does not hide her excitement over them, and she's just fully into it. um, but she also shows that she has a very uh, good side to her as well. She's very sympathetic towards others. She definitely cares about people, um, and she's very much willing to work with others. She's very much a team player, which is always important for games, but also for life. Five, on the other hand, Five is just like, dude, this guy is just too good of a person. Like seriously, like when you're introduced to him, it's like, oh, there's this big tournament he wants to enter that he's like super hyped for. But no, I'm just gonna stay here and work in my grandparents' food truck because they need me more. I want to help support them. And it's like, dude, you're just too good. And I'm not saying that as a bad thing. I'm not like saying he's too good as in he's like it's like harmful for him. I'm saying it like you're just you're likable. You're just instantly likable. Um, and then we see again, just like Miko, he's very much a team player. He even sacrifices at first his chances to win by choosing to help her instead of going for the goal at first. And I mean, granted, he could have possibly won afterwards, but then his ball glitched. But he put that first. That's the point. He puts helping her above that. And that's honestly something you got to really appreciate. Um, he cares about other people. He's very empathetic, and I really like that. Um, because honestly, I am too, and I like seeing characters in any cartoon, anime, video game, who are very empathetic like that, who care about others' well-being, in a lot of cases above their own. It's it's nice, and not every character's like that. Not every character, not every main character, not every hero in these kinds of shows and games and whatnot are like that. They aren't. A lot of them will be selfish at times. Hell, even Aang from Avatar: The Last Airbender showed a selfish side a couple times, and he was very selfless most of the time. Um, but yeah, it's like to be that selfless and that empathetic towards others is it's just really nice to see. It's nice to see it handled in a way that feels natural, especially for a situation. Now, I don't know like what the deal with like his parents are, like where his parents are or anything, but he seems to live with his grandparents. So maybe his parents are out of the picture. Maybe they're dead. I mean, that's kind of a major assumption, but it's like judging on the information we've gotten, um, it definitely seems like he lives with his grandparents there. And Miko, meanwhile, has a big family and often feels, at least from what we've gathered from the context clues, seems to feel like she's almost neglected. Not like fully neglected, but like her parents focus so much on trying to do stuff with everyone that it ends up hurting in the long run. And that they're kind of pushing her to the side in order to, you know, please the entire family. And I get why, because it's like they seem to have a pretty large family. But still, it's like you got to be attentive to, if you have that many children, you have to be attentive to all of their needs and desires. If you're going to have that many children, you have to be able to care for those children. And that means more than just putting food on the table. That means more than just giving them a roof and giving them um, good parenting. I mean, all that's obviously extremely important. But it also means listening to them, understanding them, believing in them. I mean, yeah, obviously when she told her parents what happened, that was kind of an unbelievable story, but still. Um, but still, it seems like they were just kind of pushing her to the side before, like when they were getting ready to go out on that family day. And then apparently they didn't even notice right away that she wasn't even in the car, kind of like a Home Alone style with that, not even noticing. And it's just, I'm not so much disappointed in them because I can understand, I get it. And they're clearly not unloving parents. I mean, you see that by the end, that they clearly do care for her. It's just there's so much going on in their family life that sometimes they just don't see her. You know what I'm saying? And and believe me, I've seen that in many different places, many different shows. I've known real people who have been in that kind of situation, and it sucks. And they've just got to work on that. And it's clear though that they do care for her, that they do love her. Also, I like that we have a main character from a mixed family too. Like she and Five are definitely the main characters of this show, and I can't think of many shows, cartoon, anime, or whatnot, where one of the main characters is mixed like this. Because obviously Miko's mother is Asian and her father is white. Now, one other example I can say right off the bat is Totally Spies, because of the three main characters, Alex is mixed. Um, She's actually half black, half white, I believe. I think it's half black, half white. It's half black, half something. It's been a while since I've actually watched that, but yeah, she is canonically mixed, and it's like it's something you just don't see a lot of though. Like most of the time, the characters will be they'll be white with white parents, or they'll be black with black parents, or yada yada. Asian or Latino, Hispanic, whatever you want, whichever word you want to use. Um, but yeah, it's like you don't often get a mixed main character, so it's good to see. Um, Mitch, Mitch, like I said, very arrogant, very self-assured to a harmful degree. Definitely kind of let his fame and his power get to his head, and even started to use it for the wrong reasons, such as, well, basically just straight up stealing food from restaurants by wiping the drive-through person's memories so they don't even realize they gave him food already. Um, which is horribly scummy, but at the same time, you see the potential for a redemption arc. Just like you did with Zuko in Avatar The Last Airbender. Granted, completely different situation, but still. With Zuko, you could definitely see the potential in a redemption arc right from the beginning. You didn't know how it was going to be done, but you could see it coming. Especially a few episodes into season 1 of Avatar when it revealed why Zuko was so intent on catching the Avatar. When it revealed what happened to him. Like, at that point, it's like, okay, he's going to become a good guy. It's confirmed. And he did. And he did. And I think the same can be said with Mitch here. He was clearly in the wrong in this episode. He was clearly the antagonist of the episode. But I don't think he's a bad guy. When he said at the end there that he truly loves video games, that it's his life, he meant it. He didn't want that erased because he truly loves video games. And so I definitely think that he has the potential to become a good person. And it's not going to happen right away. I don't think that it's going to happen right away. He's going to struggle. He's going to still be a jerk at times. But I do think he's going to become better as the series goes on. We also have the owner of the store and leader of the glitch techs. I don't remember his name. I think it was in the credits, but I don't remember it. And I like how he kind of has this relaxed demeanor. He doesn't seem to emote too much. He's just like, kind of like, yeah, okay, I'm here. It's going to be interesting when he does emote, when he does get either really super excited or really super angry or whatnot, because it's going to really have impact because of how relaxed he normally is. So it's going to be interesting to see more of his character as this goes on. One of Miko's sisters was focused on, did she have multiple sisters, or was it multiple brothers or whatnot? She had at least one sister, I know that for sure. I don't know offhand, it's like there were multiple siblings there. But either way, one of her sisters found out at the end, and she didn't get her memory erased because she was watching from the other room. And this was, I believe it was the same sister who Miko had gotten to let her sneak out and all. The one who kind of bribed her with, like, the plasma cannon for the mermaid or whatever it was. So it's like, I really want to see where that's going to go. That's a real fun twist at the end there. Wonder how that's going to come into play. And yeah, so going into this, I mentioned, I kind of heard about something about fighting viruses or something. Well, obviously I should have put together that it was glitches, just based on the name of the show. But I mean, I thought they were gonna go into the world of the games or something. I got that completely flipped around. No, the glitches come into their world from the games. But I mean, I was kind of right because they do go into the game worlds. There's these like full-on virtual reality games and everything. Like full dive virtual reality, like it's Sword Art Online or some shit. Um, and it's like so I did get that kind of correct to a degree. I wonder if they'll actually have to fight glitches in the games as well. Maybe they'll have to do a little of both, fighting them in the game world as well as out of it. That could lead to some really interesting battles too, because having to traverse the video game platforms and just worlds and everything could be interesting. Oh, oh, excuse me. Now, the games mentioned in this were definitely fake. They weren't real games, but there were references to real games. Like there were some phrases used, like flawless victory from Mortal Kombat, and 5 beta Pokemon reference and everything. So it's like they're clearly going to make references to real life game franchises, but they're going to keep the games in world as their own thing. They're going to keep those fake, which is fine. That's all well and good. And I understand why they can get away with doing like a reference here and there, but like having the game straight up might be a little harder. So yeah. Either way, I'm into this. Yeah, I really like this so far. And I hope that we do see more of their dynamics with their families. I think that's important here. Um, and one of the reasons why uh, Owl House disappointed me because it kind of ignored the family aspect of things after the first episode. Um, I really want to see the families gone more into, and I'm thinking it's definitely going to happen because of the little sister having seen and remembered everything. I also really want to know, by the way, why is Miko immune to getting her memory wiped? It showed like this error over her when it was attempted. So it's like, why is she immune? I wonder if there's actually a reason. She kind of made a joke in this first episode about being like the chosen one. What if she actually is? Like, what if that ends up actually becoming a self-fulfilling prophecy? That would actually be really funny. And that would probably be one of the better ways to handle a chosen one storyline by having like a self-fulfilling prophecy aspect to it. That would be fun. But yeah, that's really the big mystery of this episode. Why is it not affecting her? That's interesting. But yeah, I definitely want to see more of the families. Not just because of the family dynamic thing, but I just like the families, especially Five's grandparents. I really like them. They're the cool grandparents. But I do want to see more of Miko's family as well because I think that they could definitely add in some character to the show and be really interesting in their own rights. Um, I'm just very excited to see what we've got coming up for this series, though. Like everything, we will react to it just as we get to it. And I'm excited. I am very excited. As I had stated before with Digimon, after this series, if Digimon is not yet back, we will probably move into ReZero Season 2, which starts in the summer season of anime. If Digimon is going to come back right around the same time or beforehand, though, we will move into Digimon first. That is a higher priority for me. But yeah. I'm excited nonetheless, and I want to hear what you think. Tell me in the comments below what you think of this first episode of Glitch Techs. What do you think of the characters? What do you think of the arts and animation, the soundtrack, the voice acting? By the way, soundtrack and voice acting I didn't mention yet. Both were great. No complaints at all. I mean, you have some pretty good voice actors in this too, like Stephanie Sheh. So it's not super surprising. But either way, tell me your thoughts on all of that and more in the comments below, and thank you so much for tuning in. For now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.